Herbivore.
Morning. Oh, hang on. The screen's not quite perfect. How is everyone? Happy Sunday morning, or happy whatever time of the day it is wherever you are in the world. Joad Saeed is in the house, and Harad's life. Check her out on the YouTube. She's a delightful young lady, if you ask me. Romeroni, only 7 people. 26. But good try. Close but no cigar. Mark Crossy's in the house. He's in Ireland. I know those shamrocks. And then Julie's here from Brisbane. Where out was everyone else calling in from? Robert Pacino's here, as always. Good to see you. Gigliardo. 3:22 a.m. What are you doing up at that time? Do you work late, or are you just a party animal? Richard Benham, my good friend, he's in there. Morning, treated again. Yeah, you lucky people. Just off for a morning run. Have a good day, everyone. I've not even done my training yet. I've been really slack. I was up late today. That never happens. Vegan Lukey Geezer. Hey, I was only just watching your other one last night. Very inspiring for a happier, healthier life. Nice. So glad I've caught this one this morning on my way to Tesco. I'll be listening on the headphones. Fantastic. Have a wonderful day, Lukey Geezer, and thanks for joining. And I wonder where you are in the world. I'm guessing maybe you're UK based. I don't know, are Tesco's in other countries? They're such a mega corporation, you'd think they would be. Angharad is in New South Wales. Oh no, North Wales. New South Wales. What am I on about? Oh, my brain. North Wales. Yeah, that's more like it. I was going to say I didn't think you were on the other side of the world. You have to excuse me, I'm only just up. My brain's not engaged yet. What time did you get up, Angharad? Oh, you're in Bury St Edmunds, just down the road from me, Lukey. I'm in Norwich. I'm in Norwich, where we drive tractors and all that. Seeing Through is in the house. Hench Live, yes. Thanks for being so excited. I'm just going to get my protein shake in me as we wait for any questions to come through, or is there any topics we want to talk about today? And what are you all doing on this wonderful Sunday day? Got my Viva Life Perform salted maca caramel. I put a good load of ginger juice in there. I find it really I can be prone to sort of pressure kind of headaches. Historically I've got migraines through my life, but a couple of good shots of ginger juice, AM and PM. I do them about 12 hours apart. Really helps to keep my head clear. JP, hi Hench Herbivore. How do you stay motivated with weather like this to stay active? I just wrap up really warm and dry. I mean, when it was really deep snow, I was up at 5 a.m. I get up between 5 and 6 typically. This particular day I was up with the lark. I was up at 5. I got my breakfast in me, and it was, not pitch black outside, but it was very dark. And I thought, I'm going to go to the local woods and I'm going to explore the woods in the dark. I forgot how dark it would be because, of course, on the way there's all the street lights, but you get there and you're in the trees and it was very, very dark. And stupidly, I was playing a podcast all about Vikings and true Viking history, not the sort of Hollywoodized nonsense version with the horned helmets and all that malarkey. But yeah, I'm kind of exploring this woods, and I'm hearing all these kind of scary stories and stuff, and they're talking about exploring new land, and it really felt very much like I was in the kind of wild. I mean, I'm not really in the wilderness. It's a tiny little woods, like in the middle of a city. But Yeah, I'm walking around in the dark and everything's covered in snow. It's very beautiful, but it's because you can only see. Basically, I had to use my phone as a torch, and you can only see in that kind of cone there. And you know, occasionally you come across a log, and it kind of like, for the first few minutes, kind of made me, that sort of thing made me jump back. It felt very alien and quite unnerving to be in the dark in the woods. You know, normally, say 6 a.m., I'm in the living room with the lights on, you know, nice and toasty with my feet up. And it was very primordial, and I really enjoyed it. Lately, most days, we've been getting into this sort of wooded area, and it's one thing I was saying, we don't get enough nature time, you know, and that's really good. Like Dr. Gregor recently put out a video saying how trees give off these phytochemicals, and we breathe them in, and they raise our immunity. We produce more of the natural killer cells that fight off cancers and things. The greens and the blues and the fractal colours, the fractal patterns, the green and blue colours, they lower our cortisol, you know, so it de-stresses us to be in nature. When we're in urban living, the straight lines, the greys, you know, the car horns, the angry motorists, you know, that raises your cortisol, that raises your stress hormone. It's not so good for you. So I found it really refreshing to get into nature a bit. Not for that long, only up to about an hour or so. But I find that's enough to do me some real good. But I don't know if that was really the question. How do you stay motivated? I'm just motivated anyway, because the better I look, the more animals I save. That's kind of my thing now. Historically, I trained out of ego, you know, wanted to be big and lean and feared and admired, and you know, it was very ego driven. And then I got fed up with bodybuilding not so long ago, as I sort of got into my veganism. But then someone said, "Oh, you look like a hench herbivore," and I thought, that is a really nice name that rolls off the tongue. Like I can make I can use that for my PT business. Initially, it was called Hench Herbivore. And sorry, what was I saying? I had a brain fart. Excuse me. I'm just going to have a sip as well, I think. Oh yeah, and B, you know, I want to put back, like I paid for more animals to be executed on my behalf than most. I was eating 500 grams of animal protein a day. So, you know, I really wanted to, I just figure the bigger and stronger and leaner, fitter I am, you know, the more animals I can save by being an advocate for the animals. So that's how I stay motivated. If it's important enough to you, you'll do it. And if it's not so important, you might not do it. And you can't always manufacture motivation. You have to have some degree of it there. I mean, for me, like some days, I like training early, and if the day gets protracted and I don't get to train yet, and I'm starting to maybe get tired, then I can think, I don't really want to do it. But as soon as I get started, I'm all right. And often those will be some of the best workouts. But some tricks are, depending on what type of training I used to do. If I was doing some martial arts training, I'd watch some UFC. If I'm going to the gym, you know, I'll watch some bodybuilders that I admire. Put on some David Goggins, some kind of motivational stuff, and just think about the animals. Like, think of the pain and the misery that they're going through, that I was complicit in for years and years and years. And I don't know, I just summon it up. But, you know, if it's not that important to you, maybe you can't get motivated, and that's all right. That's all right. Maybe that's not your thing. Toby Gosling's in the house. Good to see you. Oh, I've got a vlog coming out at 10:30. Toby, you may recognise one or two of the items in it. Robert Chino's grocery shopping, just got home. Nice. It's nice when you get in, isn't it? Leaky Geezer, I'd love to come to Norwich for activism. I hear it's good. It really is. Yeah, maybe I'll see you around one of these days once this old curfew's lifted. Michael Askew's in the house. Too early for us in the UK. I was still waiting for my brain to catch up. Same, I just had a right old brain fart. Vegan with G is in the house. Don't be rude. My IRL friend, Julian Walters, I'm on the machine. It's just a private thing that we have going on. How you doing, Julian? Good to see you, brother. Shield Maiden at Samantha's in the house. You might have heard, I was listening to a great podcast about Vikings. It was on the Aubrey Marcus podcast. About his most recent one is about kind of Viking sort of spirituality and just how Hollywood has really sort of distorted our view of Vikings. Supposedly they were kind of, because we see them as like real savages, like, you know, all their kind of bear skins and all that. And the historian guy was saying actually they were sort of almost like dandies, like they liked their fine silks and like glass beads and things. And yeah, there was that horrible raid on Lindisfarne, you know, that terrible sort of pillaging. But by and large, supposedly, they were more of traders than raiders. So, dairy-free Milky Way is in the house. Isn't there a vegan Kit Kat coming out now and a Dr. Oetker pizza? Vegan ones, that's a sign of the times. Vegan Mujita. Yeah, I was having an adventure, Uji. I was having an adventure. Yeah, I was having a lovely time. Sort of exploring. It's really sort of off the beaten track, and there's some really cool little elements in this woods. There's this little sort of valley, and some interesting mushrooms are growing up at this time, and yeah. Seeing through. Ever listened to Terence McKenna? Loads, particularly recently. I mean, I listened to him for years and years and years. Just lately, I've kind of got very much into certain medicinal plant substances, and yeah, I'm sort of revisiting him. To be honest, Buyers, hi Hench, how you keeping? Really enjoying the content. Thank you. Yeah, I'm great, thanks. I'm great. I'm having fun, living the dream. The good thing about, well, not that there is any good thing about COVID, but one good thing is that it's not really affected my work that much. Okay, I can't travel and meet people and go to events and stuff, which is a real downer because that's my favourite thing. But, you know, at least I can still do my job and spread the love. So that's something. Mark Crossy, hi Hench, what is your views on celery juice each morning for health benefits? I would say likely just the same as juicing any other kind of healthy, you know, vegetable. Hang on, I think my camera's... I think you're referring to, what's his name, the medical medium? Is it Anthony Daniels, or is that the guy who plays C-3PO? Anyway, they both look fairly similar to me. So he's saying, he's basically the ghost whisperer, isn't he? And he reckons he's got all this knowledge that modern science hasn't caught up yet, and about these special minerals, cluster minerals, or something. Just, I don't know. He's either a complete liar, mental, or he speaks to ghosts and, you know, stuff we don't know. But from my perspective, I think if you juiced any kind of greens, you know, you'd be getting loads of lovely chlorophyll, loads of phytochemicals. You know, it's not going to do you any harm. Better to eat the whole plant and get all the fibre, but you can only eat so much. And if you're having some greens juices on top of an already healthy whole foods plant-based diet with plenty of diversity, you know, plenty of volume, I see that can just be a benefit. Yeah. But as for the ghost whispering thing, I can neither confirm nor deny that that's a thing. J.O., good day from Perth. Lovely. We're having it's Perth, and I'll probably make myself look an idiot now. Is Perth Australia? Let's have a look just before yeah, it is Australia. Lovely. I actually knew something. Yeah, coming on at this time, I've done a couple now, and we've had a few Australians on, and I think Australia is my third biggest following, so it's great to finally meet some of you. Good day. How's the vegan scene in Perth? I've never heard. I understand Adelaide is particularly good for vegans. Dylan Conradi, hello from South Africa. Nice. What's your opinion on digestive enzymes? South Africa, hey? And how's the vegan scene there? Oh, I guess you're saying, so when you said digestive enzymes, I thought, well, we produce them, they're in the food. I guess you're meaning as a supplement. And what I will say is, if you've got a healthy functioning gut, etc., if you've been eating a species-specific diet, i.e. mostly predominantly whole plant foods, you shouldn't have any issues. If you've been eating a poor diet, if you take medications, if you've been doing things like antacids, then potentially maybe some sort of assistance may help, but you shouldn't need it. If you've been eating healthfully, for the long term, you shouldn't need them. It's just a bit of a money-making scheme, really. Skinheads bowling. What do you make of the James Aspie situation? Nothing. I've not even looked at it. I'm really disinterested in fighting, gossipy type stuff. I'm here to save animals and to help people with their health and to help stop destroying the planet at a rate of knots whereby our children won't be able to live on it. So yeah, I really couldn't give. I don't even know what it's all about, and I couldn't care less, to be honest. But that's just me. Holly O'Neill. Hi Paul, went vegan 2 months ago and it's the best decision I made. Nice. Watched the documentary Dominion. Wow. So I was literally eating, wow, as you're eating a fish pie, spread it out, haven't touched an animal product since. Good on you. Well, let's have a round of applause for Holly O'Neill, please. I want to see some of them applause emojis in the chat. You lovely lady. Yeah, so what prompted you to watch that, particularly while you were eating? That's very brave. And whereabouts in the world are you? Buyers, Hench, what's the song called you play at the end of your other vids on your other channel? That is Movement in the Dead of Night by Tears of Gaia. They're real cool. I don't think they do anything now, but they were doing a lot of vegan, sort of animal rights kind of heavy metal stuff, aren't they? I love it. Thank you, Holly O'Neill. You're very kind. Vegan Lukey Geezer, definitely inspired to buy healthier food today instead of junk food. Nice. So I need to keep watching your videos, stay motivated. I'm interested in buying your book when I get money. Oh, thank you, my friend. That is really kind of you. Yeah, both of our books are on sale at the minute. So it's a good amount of money off. And I've got a video coming out at 10:30 with 3 really delicious, healthy recipes, which I ate yesterday. They were fantastic. Dairy-free Milky Way. Would you consider making a video on PP Man? I don't know, because I've never heard of him. Let's have a look. Is he on YouTube? Do you mean? No, I don't know. I can't see anything. Unless you meant wee, and this is like one of those Bart Simpson things where he phones up Mo's Tavern and gets him to say rude words. In which case, that's pretty funny that I fell for that. Stacey Langley's in the house. I'm really good, thank you, darling. Yeah, really happy to be hanging out with all my chums. How are you doing? Yep, I agree, Holly. Anthony Williams. Oh yeah, I said Anthony Daniels. And isn't he the composer for the Star Wars theme tune? John Williams. That's why I'm getting confused. Thomas Chappelle. Good morning, Paul. Question. I want to start learning about nutrition with the aim to become a nutritionist like yourself. I was wondering how you started and how you'd recommend getting into it. It depends how far you want to take it, really. I mean, I never got a degree or anything. I just got a diploma. And in fact, you don't even need any credentials to call yourself a nutritionist. Dietitian is a different matter. So basically, I've had a lifelong interest in nutrition, and I've kind of been my own science experiment in terms of, and I sort of shudder to think the old experiments I used to do with high animal protein. But for me, I just read all the books. Well, I still do read all the books, watch all the YouTube videos, make sure it's a good source, like nutritionfacts.org, which is, scientifically kind of backed. Books, podcasts, documentaries, webinars. seminars. I just basically absorbed everything. And eventually I did like an online course, but I wouldn't recommend the one I did it with. It was horrible. And I kind of had to unlearn what I'd learned. And they were saying, oh, children, the elderly, if you're sick, if you're pregnant, you can't be vegan. And honestly, it was in English language, but whoever wrote that course, English was not their first language. Either or that, or they were a complete idiot. And it was so ambiguous and just nonsense, like sort of mis and disinformation from like the 1970s, which we've disproven with studies after studies ever since. So that wasn't so good. If you're going to do an online course, I would recommend the eCornell one. I hear that that's particularly good. I've got a few friends who've gone through that. So the eCornell online vegan nutritionist certificate. That's just a certificate, that one. But like I say, like you don't even need that, but it's good to have a bit of paper, isn't it? So yeah, or or you could go on to like higher education and do a degree or something, which obviously gives you more kind of authority. I sort of did well just for the fact of living it, having clients, reversing disease, and like seeing it, and just having a large social media following. In order to kind of do business these days, really, if you've got a good social media following, you're kind of laughing. But you obviously need to know your stuff, and that's one thing I would say for a lot of different businesses, not just nutrition. But if you get a large following, if you give out your best advice for free, which sounds bonkers, doesn't it? Really counterintuitive. Give away all your best information for free, but people will see you as an authority, and as they see you in more and more places, when they want something bespoke, or perhaps they want all the videos in one plug, a video course, like laid out, or or cookbooks or whatever it is, they'll come to you because they know that you know your stuff. Said in about 3 times in one sentence there. Did you notice? Right, where were we? Australia seems not great, but it's getting better. Lots of meat alternative in the major supermarkets. Good. It's starting. The truth is like a lion. Set him free, and he will defend himself. Historically, big business. The rich people, like they had all the power, they had all the communication, they had control of media. Now we've all got a voice, we've got social media, and the truth's out there now, and it's just a matter of time. It's a bit sickening when you see like what's happening in the slaughterhouses and on the farms, and you see babies ripped from their mothers, like we take the calves from the cows so we can steal their milk. It's heartbreaking. But it started, and it's going to snowball, and it's going to keep snowballing, and just keep putting the truth out there. Be a positive influence, focus on the solution, not the problem, and we'll do it together. Sheffield 99, hello from New Zealand. Now that's confusing because Sheffield is a town in the UK, and now you're in New Zealand. What is your easy go-to snack for people who are busy? Trail mix, like dried fruit and nuts and seeds. So that's one of your best, and just fresh fruit, really. Yeah. That's what I'd say. I'm into my whole foods, so you can make snacks with whole foods, but obviously they take a little bit of prep work. I did a video called 3 vegan cinema snacks or something. There was like kale chips. I'll tell you what are really nice are the roasted curried chickpeas, and I think there was like a popcorn recipe or 2 in there as well, and they're all particularly delicious. But of course, you typically have to pre-make those yourself. You can get pre-made kale chips, but they're fried in oil, so I prefer to like air fry them. Okay. Pythite. My tongue is white for the past 2 years. Is the way to fix it. I'm vegetarian, by the way. I'm going to guess it's like a mucusy type thing from dairy. That's what I'm going to guess. That is what was my immediate thought. It's kind of like mucus, isn't it? So I'd say cut the dairy. Holly O'Neill, I didn't realise how graphic it would be, yeah, which was what I was eating, based in London. Ah, nice. Nice, nice, nice. And are you considering going to the camp out, Holly, if it's on? Clearly reality. Advice if I'm addicted to watching to your videos. That's one of the better addictions to have. I've heard it gets easier if you share them among all your friends and family as well on your social media. I heard that eases it a bit. Thanks for your support, Clear Reality. I really appreciate you. Lucy's here. Morning. Still haven't had breakfast. What's everyone had for breakfast? I had whole grain toast with homemade hummus, which is white beans, tahini. Actually, I had some nooch. That's more like a cheesy one. I added some nooch in case Gemma hadn't already done so. So I think probably had a bit of lemon juice, maybe mustard, cumin probably. Maybe some garlic. Yeah, I had that on toast with some sliced tomato, some black pepper, and I had a bowl of tropical fruits. I had, what did I have? Mangosteen, sapodilla, Borneo banana, dates, lychees, jujube fruit. I've had dried jujube fruit. I had fresh today. Anyway, if you're interested to see what I eat for my different meals, do follow me on the gram, hench_herbivore. I post all my meals on my stories there. But that was a delicious breakfast. Oh, and I've got Viva Life Perform salted maca caramel with a big old shot of ginger juice in there. I was saying at the start of the stream, it really keeps my head clear so I don't get prone to like headaches. Can settle my stomach as well if I have any kind of gut sort of sore pains or like discomfort. Ginger juice, it's like just a pain eraser. I really, really love it. Vegan Gaze is in the house. How you doing, Flemington Steel? Do subscribe to Vegan Gaze. She's great for your anti-vegan nonsense. Specifically, she destroys it. Fizz Theo. Hi, Hench. Please say hi to us. Hi, Jazzy and Zara, watching from Wallasey. How are you doing? Where is Wallasey? That is a cool sounding place. Wallasey. Question we have is: do you make smoothies or juices? Which do you prefer? Fairly regular smoothies. I would say maybe every 2 to 3 mornings. I have almost a 2-litre smoothie. So mostly, so I have filtered water, so I've not got the chloride in it from the tap water because that destroys your good gut microbes. You don't want that. I have dates, oats, flax seeds, chia seeds, Vivo Life protein powder, little amla, little seaweed. Yesterday in my smoothie, I had bladderwrack for a change. Had bladderwrack, and then someone in the chat said that they were eating bladderwrack, and not a seaweed you often really hear about. See it at the coast around where we live. What else do I have in there? Some berries usually. Lately some tropical fruits because I'm hooked up with exoticfruits.uk and they supply me with lovely, delicious fruits from all around the world. So thanks to those guys. Follow them on the gram, exoticfruits.uk. I can get you money off. Check my new video, which is out at 10:30. So I'll do a little, I'll show you some of their stuff and there's the money off coders in there. 30% off your first order. Amazing, code hench30. Juices, not so much. So smoothies, you got everything. You're not losing the fibre. A lot of the polyphenols, these really healthy plant chemicals, are attached actually to the fibre. So the more fibre we eat, the longer we tend to live, the less all-cause mortality, certainly less instances of stroke. It's great against heart disease as well. So, you know, if you're throwing out your fibre and your polyphenols, you've hurt your health potential right there by losing some of the good stuff. And then, because it's not attached to fibre, these sugars, you know, particularly if you're drinking a fruit juice, vegetable juice, particularly greens, yeah, I think that's very helpful. And then that's a great addition to an already healthy, fibre-rich diet. Fruit juice, no, because the sugars are then unattached. They're just in so fast, so they spike your your insulin when you don't want it to be spiked, and that raises your risk. I mean, really, diabetes, type 2 diabetes really is a function of fat in your muscle cells from eating animals. But yeah, I think if you were to have tons of juices all the time, I think that can hurt your sort of health from that perspective of your blood sugar. Yeah. Where was I? Else Princeton, I have a question. What do you think of eating soups for breakfast? Fantastic. Get it in you. The Indian people, a real popular breakfast is a masala dosa, which is like a crepe with a dry sort of potato and lentil curry filling. They serve that with sambar, which is a spicy fermented lentil soup. It's delicious. My favourite dish, actually. So yeah, my favourite breakfast includes a soup. You know, it's these sort of ideas that this is a breakfast meal, this is a lunch meal, this is a dinner meal. It's all poppycock, to coin a very British phrase. It's all just arbitrary nonsense. It's a bit like, oh, in this country we eat pigs and pet dogs, and in this country, like, oh, we love to roast a dog up and eat him in a sandwich. Like, it's all arbitrary nonsense. And as long as it's whole plant foods, I'll just eat whatever, whenever. Oftentimes, you know, for the longest time, for breakfast, I got really bored. I either had the same ingredients either as a smoothie or as porridge. And then occasionally I would eat like the sort of meal I'd eat later on. But then by lunch or dinner, I might think, oh, I missed my porridge today. I fancy some delicious berries with, you know, some gooey dates in there, and, you know, just nice warming hearty porridge to warm me up. And yeah, just to have it when you want. As long as it's healthy stuff, do you know what I mean? Like, it's just arbitrary nonsense to have it at certain times. Vegan Luke Geezer, what is your opinion with olive oil? I've been told it's good because I'm quite underweight and it's gained a bit of weight. It's good from the perspective of calories, but, you know, beef fat is a condensed source of calories as well, and that's certainly not healthy. Olive oil, you know, everything's on a scale. It's not really, is this healthy, is this unhealthy? It is compared to what are you talking about? So if you look at whole foods, plant-based, nothing bad added, nothing good taken out, maybe the odd whole olive in there. I wouldn't go mad on olives because they have a lot of salt, don't they? But anyway, that's the gold standard. It's whole plant foods without losing the fibre, without losing nutrients, without adding negatives. So refined oil, that's the opposite of a whole food. That is a very refined food. And basically in the oil, yeah, it's calorific, which is the one reason why most people should swerve it, because there's a lot more overweight people than underweight. But there's a lot of negatives. It's like 14% saturates by weight, so it's not without saturated fat. It paralyzes the blood vessels. It paralyzes the epithelium, your gut. You know, so if you have a fatty meal, you might feel like, oh, I've got a brick in my gut. That's why. It's higher in omega-6. Any omega-3s are destroyed. Where they're sitting on the shelves, and they can be on the shelves for years actually, like some olive oils, they create trans fats, which are really horrible for heart health. Really, really horrible trans fats. There's a lot of negatives. There's a lot of negatives. On the scale of things, much healthier than butter. So if people are eating a standard diet and they switch butter for olive oil, yeah, of course they are going to get benefits. So from their perspective, it's healthy. But then if you look at a whole foods plant-based eater and then you glug an oil onto your salads and things, well, then look at the health markers. And indeed, I believe PCRM possibly just did a study with a bit of this going on, and yeah, I think that was their kind of findings, that it's not as good. It's not as good. You know, you've not got the fibre either, so you're feeding pathogenic gut bugs. You know, There's a couple of people bemoaning me for saying that olive oil is not so healthy. They're bemoaning me and saying, no, no, it's a healthy. Like, there's studies. There's this odd cherry-picked study where they looked at probably a healthy, like an unhealthy population, and then suddenly gave some of them olive oil. So they took out some of the animal products. So of course they're going to get benefits, but healthy compared to what? Show me the study where someone eating entirely whole foods their whole life had worse health than someone eating a similar diet, but with some amount of olive oil in it. And great, if it turns out that it does perform better, I'll be all for it, because I would love to be able to put oils in, because they're calorically dense and it'd be a lot easier to eat all my calories. But as far as the data shows, I think it's very, very safe to infer that probably you'd be healthier without it. And people who are really on the front line with heart disease, they'll shout at you from the stage when they do a talk, Dr. Esselstyn, no oil. In case you didn't get the memo, no oil. Do you know what I mean? And these are the people at the forefront with the best results of bringing people back from the brink of death with nutrition. So I'll take their word over, these YouTubers, not naming names, but one of them struggles with his weight maintenance. One of them is really grumpy all the time, like really depressed. And I think, well, if you're having oils, omega-6, what a surprise, But they're very confident in their own that their perspective is their only perspective. So I'll just let them get on with it. Okay, I'm looking for questions. Nice, Thomas. Stacey, whoa, that's jumped. Stacey Langley, I made channel chips in the air fryer the other day. I can't believe how well they turned out. I love my air fryer. I want to try everything in it. Yeah. We've got 2 videos, air fryer videos. We've done a few things. Really great. Lucy's in the house. She loves a bit of ginger spice as well. No jokes about old pop groups. Vegan Gay, thanks, lad. Did you get around to checking on Isaac Butterfield? I did. He was just going on about that vegan teacher in the last few videos, from what I could see, and I just can't force myself to endure her. So I didn't watch him. Clear reality. Most nutritious single food. We don't really know, do we? We don't know. We're just speculating. But I would say something like broccoli sprouts have got to be in the running. Yeah, some sort of sprout, I reckon, with loads of sulforaphane. The peckover, I know exactly the same did when I first ran this channel, except I lost 3 inches off my waist. No, and cheers you. Thanks for your kind words. Aristotle's, hi, just wanted to stop by to thank you for changing my life. I've always had really bad acne ever since I found your channel, and the whole food plant-based diet, it faded completely. Nice, well done, Aristotle's. That is really good to hear. Whereabouts in the world are you? And thank you for your kind words. That means a lot. Tom Hurley, ever considered debating people on being vegan? Oh, do you mean like a formalised debate? No, I've never done debating, so yeah, I don't really know the skill of it to be able to do a good job. But of course, just in day-to-day life, I guess you could say I've kind of debated like probably hundreds of people in my 9 years. Probably not thousands. But yeah, all that formalised malarkey, we don't really have a debate camp over here, so it's not something that's ever interested me. Thanks, Viz Theo. What's going on? I've gone backwards, but I found more. I don't know what I'm doing. Lee Peckover, chickpea masala dosa. What is this wizardry? I never even heard of him. That's it. I'm in. Stain, Paul, please rate my smoothie. Okay, here we go. 2 cups of oats. Great. Some good long burning fuel there, and some beta glucans to keep your immune system humming and your heart in good health. 2 scoops of protein powder. If it's Viva Life, great. If it was anything else, no, that's terrible. Teaspoon of cacao. So cacao powder. So it's going to have the saturates taken out. So that's good. It's got some good minerals in there. Some bioflavonoids. Tablespoon of flax. So you've got your omega-3s and your lignans. Tablespoon of peanut butter. If it was whole peanut butter, great. If it was not whole, not so good. I'm going to imagine you've done it all good though. 1 banana, some frozen spinach and soy milk. So you've got some good vegetables in there. You've got some good fruit. You've got some protein from the soy milk. What's that, about 15 grams of protein, is it, for half a pint? I would give that 9.5 out of 10. There you go. It's the best score I've ever given. Lee Packover, are you on Clubhouse? No. I've started hearing about it through Gary Vaynerchuk, old Gary V, but I've not even looked at it. What is the deal? Is it like a voice format, like a, I don't know, you can do some talking, people can like host you, and what's the deal? I don't really understand it, if I'm honest. Andrew McFree, oil belongs in engines, not in our bodies. That's a great phrase. I love it. I'm nicking that. Kim Glover, my lovely IRL friend. How you doing, my lovely? Good to see you in it. Soft J Jimbly, is white rice bad? Again, I would say compared to what? Compared to compared to sprouted lentils, yeah. Compared to like a bit of a cow's bum, no, it's fantastic. So again, it's all relative. I would say, it's acting a bit more like a sugar when you're taking away the germ and the bran, and you're just left with the endosperm. That's a lot more calories for kind of less nutrition, less fiber. So I seek to avoid it. Can you get away with a bit in an otherwise whole foods plant-based diet and not see any ill effects? How do we know? Like maybe, or maybe you could have been that little bit healthier, keeping to completely whole intact grains. It's sort of hard to say, but I would say it's not something I seek to ever eat. Paul Danino, do you watch MMA? No, I used to love it. I used to love all that stuff. I used to live it, and just in recent years, found the vegan thing, had a bit of what I would call a spiritual enlightenment, became more at one with everything, and not really a fan of violence anymore, which is a funny thing for an ex-doorman with, how I used to behave to say. But martial arts was my life, from age 15, for the next 12 years, I was eating, breathing, sleeping, drinking, fighting arts, and, working the doors and putting it to the test as well. Just really gone off it. Kim Glover, what do you think of seitan? How refined it is? It's super refined. If you ever seen Vital Weekly, in this little white dust specks. So that's, if you imagine that's come from, a grass, wheat. That's pretty bloody refined. You wouldn't recognise like what the hell it was. I was saying this to Gemma the other day. I'm happy now, twice per week. I am going to have a meat alternative, such as seitan, such as I quite like these frozen they're kind of protein-based meatballs that Asda do in their new plant-based range. There's a little oil in there, but it's not overly oily. I quite like those, and what else? Obviously tofu. Tofu I'll eat fairly often. I don't really count that in among there. But yeah, certainly seitan. I'm gonna have that sort of thing a couple of times a week, just as a change, just as a kind of treat. Again, in the context of an otherwise whole foods plant-based diet, it's probably not going to do a whole load of harm. Is it as healthy as eating some beans? Not by a long shot. But, you know, I'm eating beans at exponentially more meals, you know. Sandy Tyrrell White. Hi, lovely. Nice to see you. Hey, Paul. Good to see you on here. Wondering if you are covering supplements to boost immune system. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to talk about whatever. To be honest, I don't really take... Oh, the one supplement I do take, which is specifically would help the immune system, is amla powder. It's the most antioxidant-rich food in the world. It's powdered Indian gooseberry. It's rank. So I put it in a really sweet smoothie or porridge. But I think, again, if you're eating a whole foods plant-based diet, you know, if your legumes, whole grains, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, the herbs and spices, you know, they're particularly herbs and spices are a lot of nutrition, a lot of antioxidants and things, you know, vitamins and minerals for virtually no calories. So I think if you're eating one of those, like, I'm not really, you shouldn't need supplements, other than to say the biggest, most important, possibly, supplement for immune health, if you're not getting sun, obviously D3. And we saw that something like 90% of COVID cases where they had, you know, really took a bad turn, potentially died or ended up on ventilators, etc. Something like 90% of those were vitamin D deficient. 90%. Every single immune cell of the body has vitamin D receptors. So yeah, that's critical. Get your vitamin D in you. 2,000 IUs a day for that average adult. That's an essential if you're not getting some strong sunlight regularly. We saw recently also that selenium has also been indicated in people who had a bad case of COVID. Again, around 90% of people seem to be selenium deficient. Now, yeah, you could take a supplement for that, or you could eat 1 or 2 Brazil nuts and a whole foods plant-based diet and you'd have it. So yeah, I'm not a huge, I mean, I'm happy to talk about them. I'm happy to talk about supplements, but really and truly, you should be getting your nutrients from whole plant foods, I think. You know, and when you really mega dose supplements like individual nutrients, okay, there may be an immunological benefit, but there may be multiple other pathways which are harmful. So people did studies on like beta carotene, 6 studies in a row. I don't know how they kept getting the funding for it or how they could do that in good consciousness, but it was raising people's or cancer issues. It was making them worse. So versus just eat your damn carrots. So yeah, that's my kind of take on supplement. Oh, I suppose you got your things like your echinacea, haven't you, and things which are meant to be good. So I don't know. I think if you eat really well, the main thing actually I understand is sleep. If you're sleep deprived, there was a study done. So they dripped cold virus cells into people's noses. Now, some people in the study slept 7 hours or less, some 8 hours or more. They divided the two like that. And then the people who slept 7 hours or less, they had 3 times the instances of developing that cold. And that was just like 1 hour or so's potentially like difference of sleep. So try to get 8 hours sleep if you can. Yeah, but other than that, yeah, particularly things like garlic are really good against cancer, aren't they? So I prefer whole foods, but yeah, maybe there's 1 or 2 supplements which, you know, I think by the time you've got a cold and then you try to add things in, like it's probably a bit too late, really. What was that one supplement? There is one supplement which we found fairly useful, which is a zinc. Don't know if it was a citrate, some kind of zinc liquid. and which you sort of gargled and drank like a few times a day when you start to develop a sore throat. Now that did seem to have a bit of benefit. But maybe, like our zinc was a bit on the lower side, and if we'd have ate more pumpkin seeds, like I am careful to now, maybe that wouldn't have been an issue. I don't know. Anyway, I'll stop running on. I'm going to skip forwards a little bit, in case I'm miles back in the chat. Actually, no, I'm not even miles back, am I? I'll just keep going then. Fantastic. Sunshine Skews, what do you take instead of taking vaccines since they're not vegan? Well, you're doing a lot of assumptions there, aren't you? I can't be asked to talk about vaccines because people are overly opinionated when they don't know anything about it. But actually, I understand that the Pfizer vaccine is the first vegan vaccine because it was so rush-free they didn't test it on animals. According to the government website, it contains no products of animal origin, if you can trust them. But anyway, am I going to take it? That's none of your goddamn business. I can't be asked to argue with people. Why do people just sometimes want to manufacture like an argument online? Not saying that you're wanting to here in this instance, the person I was then talking to, but just get a life, I think. Do something positive and we'll all be dead soon. We'll all be dead soon. And what is your legacy going to be? Here lies the body of such and such. They just like to cause arguments online, but not actually accomplish anything with their whole life. I've got to save animals and the planet and people's healths, man. Don't try and get me onto vaccines. I know your tricks. Clear reality. Did your sleep architecture change when you went vegan? Sleep architecture, what does that mean? Like my dreamscape? You might have to clear me up on that. I don't think anything really changed, to be honest. I noticed the first night I slept on a earthing sheet. I had this dream that I was floating on the Dead Sea, and that was beautiful. Sadly, that was just a one-off, but I felt just weightless. It was beautiful. A case is back. Lynn's Howard, morning Hench has been well. Morning to you. How you doing, my lovely? Thomas Chappelle, have you watched Cosmic Skeptic's latest video where he is an Omegle and asks people to change his veganism? What's an Omegle? That's real to challenge his veganism and change his mind. But no, I haven't, but I'll give that a look now, if only to find out what an Omegle is. No, but he is great, isn't he? You can learn a lot from him. Baz, how would we thrive and survive in the winter months on a strictly vegan diet, especially in really colder climates like Greenland, Iceland, Russia, or even here in the UK? Buy stuff online. And, you know, people will say to me, oh, historically, like, how would you have eaten a vegan diet in Siberia? And I will tell them, I wouldn't have done. What's your point? You're not in Siberia years ago. You're here now with supermarkets all around you. Like, stop trying to make excuses for hurting animals. Super chat. Chunky Seagull. Kindly donated $5 New Zealand dollars. Thank you, Chunky Seagull. What a cool name. Got the ingredients for your banana cream pie recipe. Looking forward to it. Thanks a bunch. Thank you. Thanks for supporting what we're doing, and thanks for your kind words. I really appreciate you, Chunky Seagull. Wow. People all around the world, this is exciting. Where was I? Sandra, Hench, my cousin is a carnivore and he's followed the diet for 2 years. How long until he's sick? Who knows? It can take decades to present like heart disease and things. Sadly, the first thing people sometimes know about how sick they are is, well, they drop dead from a heart attack. So, but you know, if he's really lucky, he'll start getting erectile dysfunction first, and that'll be his canary in the coal mine. And that's a warning of what's happening inside his heart vessels. Paddy T. Natty, new vegan here. Do legumes, potatoes have a complete protein? Check this out. If you're ever asking or talking about a whole plant food, you know, like legumes, you know, like potatoes, like lemons, like any whole plant food. Yes, they all have complete proteins, all of them. They do have different kinds of ratios, but from the perspective of health, you know, you're not just, you know, unless you're a spud fit guy, you're not just going to eat potatoes, you're not just going to eat legumes, you're not just going to eat lemons, you know. In order to be healthy, you need to eat enough volume of food. In order to be healthy, you need to eat enough variety of food so you're getting all the different nutrients. So legumes, whole grains, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, herbs, spices, you know, and they all have complete proteins. You know, some of them are in slightly different ratios, but all you need to worry about is by the end of the day, you need to eat the different foods. We keep pools of free amino acids in our bodies, and we just chop and change as necessary. We actually reabsorb something like 90 grams of aminos through our colon that we dump. So we constantly, obviously, cells are degrading and we lose the protein from them, but then it just gets reabsorbed back into the system. So yeah, it's really a non-issue. How long have we got? Oh, 6 more minutes, guys. 6 more minutes. Then my vlog is going live. So please do stay tuned and check out my my vlog. It's a premiere, so we can chat in the comment section. Super chat. A chunky seagull kindly donated $5 New Zealand. Just want to donate again to see this dancing shark. Oh, he's doing the Macarena, isn't he? He's doing the Macarena. I forgot about him. I thought you meant this one. If anyone donates anything .64, we call that the shark activation code, and you get a whole dance routine. You get a song and dance out of me to the tune of, I don't know what that tune is called. It's just the circus theme. Okay. You're welcome, Luke. Hope you and your girlfriend have a good Valentine's Day. Thank you, my friend. Oh, and happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Yeah, I hope you're all going to have a lovely day with your partner, or just being kind, showing love to yourself, just being really kind and doing some stuff that brings you joy. Like hanging out on here does for me. Oh, Omegle is a website where you meet strangers and oh, okay. Oh, I thought you meant like a dating site for a minute. Oh, Omegle. I've never heard of it. That's really interesting. Okay, I'll give that a look. That sounds fantastic. Nilo, Mon and Hench, do you have a good link for the purchase of seaweed? No, I just get it from wherever, to be honest. I'm a bit concerned about hitting my iodine. So it's so easy. You just need to get, say, Dulce or Arame flakes, so DULSE or ARAME. So just type that into a search engine, just put it like whatever country you're in, like you'll get loads of options come up. But I just tend to go for one of the cheaper ones. It's all much of a muchness, really. I would avoid Japanese hijiki. I think that's rich in arsenic, I believe. But other than that, most of them are okay. Just make sure you don't overdo it. Like if you get kelp, which is also called kombu, you don't need much of that, and you can easily like OD on iodine. The upper tolerable daily limit is 1,100 micrograms, so you know keep well below that. You only need 150 like minimum. I tend to do 300. I think I'm a lot larger than the average person. It's still like, you know, around as a quarter of the toxic dose. So today I had 3 sheets of nori as I was having my breakfast. So I just soaked in these 3 sheets of sushi nori, you know, the little squares of seaweed you get to wrap your sushi with. Just soak that in a tamari water solution, and I just eat it like that. And I actually quite enjoy it now. The only thing is it does get stuck in your teeth. So there I am with a tooth harp and then like swishing water around my mouth for the next couple of minutes, trying to get that out before I come on camera, and I've got all black bits in the front of my teeth there. Right, how are we doing? 2 more minutes, 2 more minutes. Who's got any last comments or questions? Sunshine Scoos. I know someone who drinks liters of dairy, chocolate milk, bags of crisps, lots of chips, his entire diet. How long do you think your life is? 50? We're very resilient machines. Like, we may like just scrape on, and we may live fairly long, but I can't imagine he's going to be the picture of health as anything else. But you can't really put times on things. It don't work like that, you know. You can be really unlucky. You can live the healthiest diet in the world and just be unlucky and drop dead like really early. It's unusual, you know, statistically speaking. You know, you're much more likely to live to a ripe old age than the chain-smoking couch potato, you know, like someone like you're describing. But then again, they could live for years as well. Just the luck of the draw is some of it. But I can't imagine that they would be as happy and vibrant as they could be, you know, particularly like lacking so many nutrients. They probably think he's okay because he doesn't know any better. Get him on a whole foods plant-based diet for 2 weeks, supplemented for vitamin D, getting a bit of movement, you know. Just feel so amazing now that I would never go back to my previous lifestyle habits, and that is why I get up. That's why I have a freezing cold shower. It's why I go out and do my training. You know, it's why I lift weights, even if some days I don't really want to get started. You know, it's why I just stick to my healthy foods and don't eat donuts. I know what it's like to not do all of those things, and that's miserable. I wanna grab life by the tentacles. Right. Right, I think I'm going to sign off there, go and do some live stuff. The little lady's up and about now, so happy Valentine's Day. Go and attend to the girlfriend duties. Not that. Thanks for the super chats, keeping us... because I didn't say thanks moderators, I then went into the wrong thing because I don't think we had any moderators today. Thanks for the super chats, keeping the beads on my toast, the walls from the door and the cameras rolling. If you're new here, we'd love you to become part of the Hench Herbivore community. You can do that by hitting the subscribe button, clicking the bell icon. Oh, and I've got a video now. Yeah, come and join me on my video. I'm now premiering one. Come over there now and we'll carry on chatting in the text chat. Please, can you? See you in a second.